Welcome on board, guys. It's nice to be back. The song in the background is by Midnight Crew and it's Igwe. Today's topic is Single and Tidy, episode 2, and we are going to be focusing on how to control body odor. So please, if you know somebody who has body odor and maybe you've been trying to find a nice way to tell them but it hasn't worked, please share this broadcast with them. Invite them on board, okay? Also share it on your timeline right now. After that, say hello. Let me know you are watching. Hello, Na. Thank you for watching. Okay, so today's topic, we're going to major on some of the things, the factors that causes personal hygiene problems like body odor. Okay, so we are looking at the factors and then how to prevent it. Today's topic, I'm going to major more on your body. So if you've had personal hygiene issues before, you've had body odor before, please send a message, post a message in the comments. Just let us know how did you discover that you have body odor? Yeah, did somebody tell you or you knew it yourself? What did you do to get rid of it? Yeah, and if you know people who have been through that as well, have you been able to tell them? And if you've told them, what were their response? Were they angry? Did they appreciate you for telling them the truth? Please say something. I don't want you to be always watching and not saying anything. Thank you for joining once again. So today's topic, how to control body odor. When it comes to body odor, it's a very sensitive topic that, when you are treating it, people have their own versions of how to keep your body clean. So I'm going to give you some of the general things and some of the things that I have personally done, because I have also suffered from personal hygiene at some point. In my book, How I Overcame, I touched on it briefly. Okay, so I've had body odor issues, and the reasons was because at a point I was stressed, okay, and at a point I wasn't using deodorant. And then at a point, I was not paying attention to my clothing. So as the series goes on, I will get to the point where I'll share more of my personal ways of how things have been with me in terms of the hygiene side. Okay. So today, we are going to look at the different ways that, we can attract odor. So the factors. And I've said here that body odor, actually, somebody will say, what is body odor? In simple terms, yeah, it's when your body is producing a smell that is not pleasant. Okay, so an unpleasant smell. In other words, if you are smelling, okay, your body is smelling. I'm not going to look for any scientific definitions, and this is the simple way that I can explain it. Okay, so normally it's a very sensitive thing to deal with, especially when it comes to drawing somebody's attention to the fact that they have body odor. They can either get offended or, especially those who they don't believe that they have body odor. They can find it very insulting. Okay, and some people too, because of pride, they may feel offended. Some people too, based on how you say it to them, they may feel offended. Okay, so it's very sensitive, and I would like to say that if you have body odor, don't feel that you are strange or you are weird or you are the only person that is going through the situation. So you keep hiding, and then you lose your confidence. You don't want to get involved in anything. You don't want to come around people. Body odor is not coronavirus, okay, if I should put it that way, for you to do social distancing. And even though people will start distancing themselves from you depending on how bad it is, but you personally have to know that it's something that can be dealt with. Okay, in most cases, it can be dealt with. So you have to be confident about yourself. Speak to somebody that can really guide you through it, because we've all been there. I have been there. There are so many people who have battled with body odor at some point in their lives. And actually, anybody can be affected by body odor, regardless of your age, your gender, your marital status, or your position. You can be affected by body odor. So it's not particular to some group of people. Anybody can be affected. That's why we have to be aware and then know how to control it or prevent it. And I'm using the word control because you may not be able to get rid of it totally, because sometimes it depends on what you are wearing. For instance, this fabric that I'm wearing, there are some silk fabrics. When you wear them, you can sweat easily. I can't wear this top for the whole day. I'll start smelling. Okay, so I have already come to study myself, and I know some of the clothing that if I wear for the whole day, I will start smelling myself. Okay, so that's why, if you've noticed in most of my videos, I like wearing topless blouse. Okay, and the reason is because immediately I wear something that is all covering, I start sweating, and then once I start sweating, it starts smelling. So I like to wear this so that I will have freedom. My armpits will not be, they will be free. The air will blow around the place, and I will not be sweating. Okay, so that's the reason. You may also study yourself and know what are some of the things that if you wear, it will help you not to smell. And then sometimes people have body odor because of medical reasons. Okay, so this program is to create awareness, okay, and also to give you some tips on how to deal with body odor. Okay, so some are because of medical reasons, which can be very challenging to those who are involved because there is nothing much they can do about it. Some people may be ill for a very long time, and maybe even the medication alone can cause them to have body odor. I don't know how it works, but there are some medications that are very strong. There are some homes where, just like hospitals, when you go to the hospitals, there's a smell there. Okay, there's a smell there because of different medications, different chemicals, and so forth. So there are some people, they may be on medications for a very long time, and they start taking the form of the medication. They are not even aware. And then some too, it could be that, I don't know, it's just medical. Their body odor is medical reasons that, maybe they are still trying to treat, and so forth. Okay, the other reason can also be spiritual. There are some people that they have placed a spell on them to make them smell wherever they go. Okay, so it makes them to lose friends, to lose relationships. I heard of a case like that whereby the lady, beautiful lady, apparently she was cursed, or somebody placed a spell on her, and she was smelling her, it was stinking bad. Okay, so wherever she appears, people will look at her, you look at her beauty and you smell her, and you are like, no, this is not right. Okay, so there are people like spells have been placed on them in an attempt to disgrace them. Okay, yeah, so those two reasons, apart from the physical reasons, so I'll be dealing more with the physical factors why people can have body odor, but the spiritual and medical reasons are there for you to understand that if you see somebody who is smelling or having body odor, you don't automatically jump into conclusion and say, oh, you don't take good care of yourself, you don't bath, you don't do this, you don't. No, because it could be something beyond their control. Okay, so it helps you to sympathize with them and know how to sensitively handle them. And unfortunately, many of us, we do not have good manners. Okay, so especially when we were younger, you see somebody smelling and then you hold your nose. In front of the person, you hold your nose like, and you start, and some people will start laughing. They start laughing, but it's not a laughing matter, and there's some people too, they'll start distancing themselves. So you realize that the person has just entered into a crowd and everybody is pulling away. So then they are left in the middle. Everybody knows that, oh, there's a problem with this person. So it can be very embarrassing, and it's important that we know that these are not the right ways to treat people who are suffering from this condition. And unfortunately, some people too make it a gossiping agenda whereby they backbite, They talk behind you. You're not even aware. You are in the church. They're talking behind you. You are smelling. Nobody is bold enough to call you and say, you know what, I've noticed this and that. Maybe you can do this to get rid of it. They wouldn't tell you, and they'll be gossiping. It could be at a school. Okay, maybe you are in school, all your friends, your classmates are all laughing at you. You don't even know why they are laughing. Because in most cases, some people are not aware that they are smelling. They are not aware. Okay, so it can be a very difficult thing. But then, as I said, it can be cured. Some of them, it's just simple steps that you have to take. If it's not a spiritual thing, if it's not a medical thing, even the spiritual things, if you take your stand and you start praying into it, you're able to know that this is the situation. You can get rid of it. Yeah, medical reasons and all of that. But the physical things are the ones that really want us to take note of, because many of us, it's not that there are any spiritual reasons or medical reasons. It's just that we are not taking good care of ourselves physically. And especially if you are single, it's very easy for you to say, oh, but there's nobody here. It's just me. I sleep alone. I do things alone. What is the point of me smelling nice? Why should I bath twice a day? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? Yeah. So you have to know that these things, they build up. So we need to deal with them. Deal with them. Okay, so I'm going to look at some of the physical reasons, the physical causes and the prevention. And I'm going to tackle one today. I'm going to tackle sweat. So one of the reasons why people can have body odor is sweat, or sweat buildup. Okay. And because sometimes you're not even aware that you sweat. Yeah. Especially those of us in the Western world, whereby in winter, the weather is so cold, so you don't really sweat, okay? But still, your body is still producing some form of sweat, okay? And especially if it's summer, it's easy because the sun is out. It can be hot, so it's easy for you to see the sweat itself. And if you're in Africa, you probably sweat immediately you go out. Within 30 minutes in the sun, you probably start sweating. So it's easy for you to know that you are sweating. And when the sweat builds up for a long time without it being clean, if you don't get rid of it, then it can start smelling. And it's because of the bacteria in some of the private parts, the most sensitive part of our bodies, when they come into contact with the sweat. I don't know the scientific mechanism of how it works, but then that is how the sweat starts to smell. So the solution to this is to bath. Try and bath. Okay, I would suggest that you bath twice a day, especially if you have body odor. If you feel that you are the person who, within a short space of time, your body is producing an unpleasant smell, try and bath twice a day. You bath in the morning, you bath in the evening. There are people who even bath 3 times in a day. Okay, it depends on you, it depends on your schedule. Some people want to bath once a day, especially singles. They'll say, well, I sleep alone. Who will know that I didn't bath? Some people don't even bath at all. Okay, so if you are in that category, then you and body odor, the distance between you is not too far. It's just a matter of time. You start having some smells if you don't bath at all in a day. Okay, so don't say I'm single. Who will know that I didn't bath? Who will know? Nobody will know, but your body knows that you didn't clean it. So eventually, it will start testifying against you. Okay, and if you are married, don't also say, well, the whole day I didn't go out. I'm indoors the whole day. So my body is not dirty. I've not had any sweat. Why would I bath? I don't want to bath. Okay, so I'm going to tackle why you should bath, yeah, and the most important part that you have to bath. You have to pay attention to when you are bathing. We treated this topic on swallow. Anytime I've treated this topic, it has always been effective, because sometimes people don't even realize that some small little things, they don't do them. and they really appreciate it. So please pay attention to what I'm saying. Try and practice them at home so that you can get a positive outcome, especially if you have body odor. Okay, so for those who says that you've not gone out the whole day, so you are not sweating, you've not sweated, or there's no sweat and you are not dirty, so because of that you are not going to bath. The question I have for you is that the whole day, did you not use the toilet? Okay, so the whole day you may not have gone out, but you've gone to the toilet to urinate. Yeah, you've wee, you've poo. Okay, you've used the toilet. Yeah, if you've done all of this, your private part is not going to stay the same. There is no way you will go and poo. Okay, you've gone to use the toilet, proper toilet, you've gone to toilet. Yeah, there's no way you will do this and your anus will smell the same. It's not going to smell the same. It doesn't matter how much toilet roll you use or toilet tissue you use to wipe your anus or your bum. It's not going to smell the same. And if you think I'm lying, when you finish you finish pooing, yeah, wipe everything. You wipe. Wait for a few minutes. Use your hand. It's your body, so there's no about this. Use your hand. Rub your hand on your anus and smell it. And tell me if it's the same. If it's not smelling, there will be some form of smell. Okay. So I'm going to be this real. Okay. There will be a smell from the poo. Yeah. And if for the whole day you've not bathed, it means that this smell stays there for the whole day. Now, the catch is, especially if you are married, yeah, the catch is, all of us, single, married, God in his infinite wisdom has structured the body such a way that your vagina, for the women, the vaginal hole and the anus hole, the anus, is so close, very close like that. Okay, so the space between it is so small. Yeah, the same way the man too. Okay, so if the whole day your anus is smelling because you've pooed and the smell is still lingering around, it means that your vagina is also going to smell. Yeah, if you are the male, your penis is going to smell, or your anus, your scrotum is going to smell. Yeah, so if you are married and then assuming that night or that afternoon or that evening you have to have sex with your wife or your husband, and they happen to put their nose down there, what would they smell? They are smelling the poo that did not completely wipe off. Okay. So sometimes they will say that somebody's vagina is smelling. Maybe it's not the vagina itself. It's the anus, because it's properly not washed. Yeah. So those of you who say that you don't go out the whole day, so because of that you are not going to bath. That is the thing that I really want you to think about. Think about it, and you yourself examine yourself, test it, and see. Okay. And if you also say that okay, assuming the whole day you've not gone to the toilet, you've not even urinated, the next day in the morning, so assuming the whole day today you didn't bath, the next day tomorrow, put your hand in your armpit, put your hand in your private part and smell it, and see if the smell is the same as if you have just bathed. It's not going to be the same. Okay. And even if you bath this morning and in the evening you don't bath, and the next morning you bath, do the same. Before you bath, rub your hand in your armpit, under your private part, in your anus, and smell it and see if it smells nice. If you don't like the smell, it means that your husband is not going to like that smell either. Your wife is not going to like that smell either. Okay. Yeah, and the singles, you are not married yet, so we don't expect that you'll be having sex, but this is building up. It's building up. So eventually, if you're always doing that, you're going to have that smell. It's going to be lingering on. And then you get married and you become used to it because you've never done it. So even when you get married, sometimes you get married to somebody who is very tidy. You know, they will not sleep if they don't bath. If you go and marry somebody like that and you are the person who just baths once a day, or you don't even bath at all, you bath every 2 days, that's going to be a problem already. So this is the time to start getting yourself used to these things, because they sound simple, but they can create issues. Most of the time, the little things are the things that will create issues in a marriage, not the big things. Okay, and hygiene is very, very, very important. And as I said before, I have had body odor issues before. I still have them, depending on what I wear. If I wear this for the whole day, I'm going to start smelling myself. And I know. Okay, there are some deodorants that if I use, before the end of the day, I'm smelling, I was like, this deodorant doesn't work. Okay, so we'll come to all of that in the various series that I'll be doing. So it is an ongoing battle that you have to keep an eye to. Okay, you may not necessarily get rid of it totally, but at least you can control it. Okay, now there's another thing. When you are wiping your bum as a lady, remember your vagina hole and your anus is very close. Okay, so if you're wiping your bum with the tissue and you wipe it, let's say this is your anus, yeah, and this side is your vagina. If you are cleaning the toilet, is when you wipe it towards this direction, some of the toilet may rub around your vagina, or they may even enter your vagina. And the toilet that has come out, the toilet is just bacteria, undigested. Those are the undigested food that you've ate, which the food that you ate that did not digest is coming out, and they have bacteria in it. So when you wipe it this way and it enters or touches your vagina is not only going to smell, you also introducing bacteria into your vagina, and then eventually you start having this candidiasis. Okay, you can have it. Those in Ghana they call it odour. Sometimes these things can cause them. I mean, odour or candidiasis have different reasons why they can come. You can have them, but introducing bacteria to your body, because sometimes you start itching, you become itchy. The bacteria can make you itch because those bacteria are not for your vagina. The vagina has its own natural bacteria that is there. Okay, so you don't wipe your bum this way, even if you are a male, the same way, because if you wipe your bum from the anus towards your scrotum, some of the poo is going to rub around your scrotum, and then your scrotum will be smelling. Okay, so this is the anus, this is the vagina, or this is the anus, this is the scrotum. Wipe it towards here. Okay, so you are wiping from the anus towards your bum. I don't know if it makes sense. I would really love to teach for people to understand. Okay, so please, if it makes sense, let me know. If not, I will probably make a video someday, wear trousers and demonstrate this for you guys. Okay, but I believe it's making sense. So always wipe your bum away from your scrotum, away from your vagina, so that you don't introduce the poo into it. Okay, very, very important. Okay, so now let's go into the bathing itself. So this is the prevention. How you bath is very important. Sometimes people can smell because they are not cleaning the key areas on their body, Okay, so somebody says it's making sense. Thank you, guys. Okay, that's Na, Esther. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, so normally in Ghana, they have this adage. I'm going to say it in English. It says that when a child does not know how to bath, at least not on his stomach, okay, every child knows how to at least bath their stomach. Okay, so every time that we are bathing, there are some areas in our body that, regardless of what, the soap will touch there, the water will touch there, the sponge will touch there, because they are major part of the body. So for instance, your head, definitely you will wash your hair. You always wash your hair and wash your head, and then you wash your face, and then the next thing is probably going to be your hands, and then your chest, and then your stomach, and then your thighs and your legs, okay, or maybe your back. So those are key things. Those are normal places that anybody at least will touch on when they bath, okay? But I'm talking about the areas that sweat can build up from, the places that produces sweat. Those are the places that we have to pay more attention to, and where there is hair, okay? So the first thing, when you are bathing, let's assume you've already bathed your head, your face, okay? You have to go to your neck. Your neck, because neck can easily sweat as well. Sometimes when you sweat, you see that your neck is sweating, okay? And most of the time, like, because of it's like under the chin, so it's easy for that place to even have, some people can have rashes here, or they can have black things here, okay? So when you are bathing, pay attention to your neck, the back of your neck, yeah? And then this side. Oh, I should have brought some. Anyway, God will make it possible. One day we'll get a proper studio, we'll do all these things nicely. Okay. So you bath your neck, and then you bath around your ears and in the ears. Okay, so here, inside here, you put the soap and the sponge, yeah? And then you wash inside your ears and then around the ears, because some people, you look at around their ears, it's all looking pale, it's looking black because they don't pay attention to washing that part. So you wash around it, and then inside here, okay, you wash it, you wash all the ears. And then your armpit. The armpit is one of the biggest areas where sweat can build and smell, because the armpit also have hair. Yeah, so it can trap the sweat in there, and then it starts smelling. So spend good amount of time scrubbing the armpit. Don't just do pa and you go. Make time, spend time in there. Use the sponge. Do it, even if it's 2 minutes that you will spend there, or 3 minutes. Spend the time. Do it. Yeah, you do your armpits. Do everywhere. You do it for a while. Yeah, with the soap and the sponge. And then your palm. Okay, you can do your palm as well, because the palm also sweats. And then your nails. And then your paws, like here. This side. Yeah, because this side can also sweat. So you make sure that you are using the sponge and the soap there. And then your nipples. You may think, why is nipples important? Nipples is important. Some people have this whitish substance that comes out of their nipples. Yeah, I don't know the scientific. I studied science. I did pharmacology, but it's all gone. It's now swell. So please pardon me. And normally when I teach, I don't go and do like research, and there are some of the things it comes from my normal wisdom or knowledge. So the navel, if you are married, part of sex, your husband may want to suck your breast. Yeah, some people do that. They want to suck your breast. So if your navel is looking white, and is looking a spot white there, it's not going to look attractive. So make sure that you use the sponge to wash it, and the soap. If you are the male, also do the same. Okay, I've not really seen males having any discharge from their navels, but not navel, nipple. This is nipple. Yeah, nipple. We'll come to the navel. The navel is the one on your tummy. So your nipples, and then under the breast. Okay, especially ladies who have big breasts. Okay, so if you are busted like me, You have to make sure that you clean under the breast. Lift it if it's that big and there's no space and it's covered the space. Lift it, yeah, and then wash under the breast, because there are some people who have rashes under their breast. Some have this black things there. Okay, so it means that probably you are not paying attention more to it. And if the rashes are so bad, go to the hospital. Go to the clinic, let them give you some medication that you can use. Okay, it's not your fault that you are busted. God made you that way, but you have to take care of yourself. Yeah, because if not, it would start smelling. It will start smelling. So please lift your breast and wash under. Even if your breast is not that big, there are some people, their breast is big, but it's still standing. Okay, so it doesn't cover this side, doesn't the under the breast is not covered, so it's easy to wash. But if yours is such that is already, yeah, lift it and wash under it. This topic is not easy to treat too, so thank God for me. Okay, and then your navel. Okay, so your navel is the little bottom on your stomach. Yeah, that one to wash it. And then now your private part, that's your, let me start with the lady. So your vagina. The vagina already, the inside of the vagina already has a self-cleansing mechanism. Okay, so it cleanses itself. So you don't have to use any soap inside the vagina itself, the hole. You don't have to put soap into it. You don't have to put the sponge and be scrubbing inside. No. Don't do that. Yeah. Because you will disturb the natural flora in the vagina. So don't use any soap there. But the part where the hair grows, yeah, you use soap and sponge and clean it. Okay, so whilst you are bathing, you do it quickly, and then you rinse off the soap with water. Anywhere that the hair grows, okay, because the smell can build up from over there because of the hair. And then also because you wee, okay, when you urinate, some part of the hair, some part of the urine can go into the hair, or it can still be lingering around your vagina area and the anus area. So make sure that you use the sponge and the soap to wash it very well, and then you rinse it off with water quickly. So the men too, this is more to do with the scrotum, yeah, the scrotum. So you two have hair, yeah, you have hair maybe on top of your penis, not the penis itself, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So where the hair grows, use sponge. Yeah, I'm not very sure about what males, whether you are allowed to use soap on your penis itself or soap and I don't know, because I've not sat under any. The men, where are you? Say something. Well, what were you taught when you were in the primary school or secondary school? What did they teach you? Yeah. Okay, so wherever there is hair, make sure that you are using sponge and soap to properly clean it. And then lift your scrotum. Okay, lift your scrotum and then clean in the under the scrotum. Make sure that you use the sponge and the soap to clean under the scrotum. We clean on the scrotum because the scrotum is very close to the anus as well. So if you wipe yourself after going to toilet, if you wipe yourself and you don't wipe it toward the direction that I was saying, if you do it wrongly, you may splash some of the toilet on your scrotum. And if you leave it there for too long, it will start piling up, and then your scrotum will look dark, or it will look as if it's pale. It becomes pale. Yeah, it becomes pale, and it probably will even start peeling off. Yeah, so if you see that your skin, the scrotum skin, is looking peeled, it's like it's peeling off, it means that you have to clean it properly. It shouldn't be looking peeled off, or you shouldn't be looking pale. Yeah, so use the sponge and the soap, lift it, and then wash around it, wash under it. Okay, and then the thighs, your thighs. So the ladies, or even the male, the ladies especially, because of the menstrual blood, okay, ours is even more sensitive. So when you are washing your private part, make sure that you squat, okay, you squat so that you have more view and more control to be able to do this. So your thighs, under your thighs, so the line between your thighs and the vagina, okay, make sure that you use the soap and the sponge and then clean that part, the line between your thighs and your vagina. Scrub it properly and then rinse it off immediately, quickly, with water. The men too, you can do the same, because you too have that place too can sweat. Okay, you can produce sweat at that place, especially those of you who are in Africa. The sun is so hot. Okay, it's very hot. So sometimes you get home and you are all wet. You remove your panty and immediately you remove your pants, you can literally smell this bad. Then you know, no. Okay, so make sure that part you are washing it properly. When you squat, it gives you a better way, a better view to be able to do that. Okay, so the men, that's the line between your thighs and your penis, or the thighs and the scrotum. Yeah. There is this there's this assignment that I gave anytime I do this. We've done this on the swell group a number of times, and I've said that when I was single, I used to do it. I recently even did it. So what you do is you need to check yourself. Okay, check yourself. Don't wait until you get married for somebody to say, oh, there is this black thing on your bum. Try and get a mirror. Okay, a big mirror that you can actually observe yourself, because maybe for your whole life you've actually not checked your vagina before. You've never checked your penis, you've never checked your scrotum, you don't know how it looks down there. The only time that you've actually seen it is when you are dressing up. You are dressing and then you look down, you can see, okay, I've still got a penis there, I still got a vagina there. Or you are bathing and you see it, but you've not actually looked at it yourself. So don't forget, when you get married, the person is going to see everything inside out. Yeah, they are going to examine it, especially if you want to play with each other. You can examine, they can lift your scrotum, they can lift your penis, and if it's looking pale, it's looking cracky, it's peeling off, it's not going to be attractive, okay? And it's the same thing with the ladies. If the person, maybe you are a fair-colored lady, you are fair skin, light-skinned lady, and then the person, your husband open your legs, and then the whole place is looking black. Your thighs, the inside of your thighs are looking black. Meanwhile, you are a light-skinned lady. Okay, so check yourself. Get a mirror. Lie down. Lift your legs. Put your mirror. If it's a big mirror, it's better because you can have a bigger, a broader view. So you lift your legs, yeah, and then look at it. Look at your anus. Look at your vagina. Look at your scrotum. Check. I'm not saying do any silly thing, but just lift it, especially the males. Lift it and look at it. Do you like what you see? Do you like what you see? If you don't like what you see, it means that your future wife is not going to like it. If you don't like what you see, the males, now you are laughing. It means if the woman, you don't like what you are seeing there, your husband is not going to like it. Okay, so it has to be something that you yourself, you are happy with. Okay, there is no, and especially the women, if you don't, especially your thighs, the space between your vagina and your thighs, if you don't clean it very well, even that part of your thighs, there's going to be a build-up of the menstrual blood. Okay, it's going to build up. It's going to be, especially when it dries, yeah, it's going to be, it's going to look pale and then cracky. It's as if it's peeling. You can see that your skin over there is peeling. You can see that it's peeling. So if you don't scrub that place very, very well with soap and water, eventually the whole place will be peeling. And then that's how, if you are a light-skinned lady, you start getting black spots over there, because your skin keeps peeling, and you are not properly cleaning it. So it's building up there and it's going to smell. Okay, so get a mirror, look at yourself. You are single, you are alone in your room. Even if you have siblings, they are not always going to be in the room. Lock the room, do it quickly, check yourself so that you are able to know the areas that you have to work on properly. Okay, if you realize that you see this round thing around your anus and it's looking pale, it's not nice, you know the next time you have to clean that place properly. So after a month, you come and check again and see whether what you have done is working. Eventually, you will start liking what you are seeing. Okay, it is your body. It is your body. It's better for you to do the corrections now than for you to get married and then somebody's complaining. And if it's something that is much of a concern to you and they think it's medical, that is the best time to now go to the hospital and say, I noticed this around my anus, I noticed this around my scrotum. Can you check me out? And then you can solve the problem before you get married. Yeah, because if you don't like it, trust me, your husband or wife is not going to like it. Okay, so Sam has put, she's like that. Do you have a question? Please speak. Yeah, if you've got any question, because this is a learning program, if you've got a question, please speak. I do all these things because of the vision, equipping singles for purpose and better marriage. So we want you to be effective. We want you to also prepare yourself towards your marriage. Okay, so personal hygiene is one of the ways to get yourself prepared. Okay, so right. And then wash your anus itself with soap and sponge. And I mentioned before, the anus, that is where the toilet comes out of, and the toilet is not a nice smell. So if it's coming out of that place, of course, that place is not going to smell nice. But your anus should not look like toilet. Okay, the fact that that is where the toilet is coming from, it doesn't mean it should look like toilet. It's just like some people, when you go to their homes, you look at their bin. Their bin looks like a bin. It looks dirty like a bin. It shouldn't look like that. We will do all of that as part of this whole broadcast. Maybe you're watching me when we go to your toilet right now, you see toilet splash everywhere because it's toilet, so it has to look like toilet. No, it doesn't have to look like toilet. Your bathroom should not look like a bathroom. It can be shining and clean, as nicer as you can even go there and sleep because it's that clean. Okay, so your anus should not look like an anus because toilet is coming out of the place. Clean it. Make sure that the place looks nice. Yeah, and that small space between your anus and your vagina, make sure that place you use the sponge and the soap to clean it properly and clean the anus itself and around it all over to your bum. And then the line between your anus and the line that is coming from your anus through your bum, your big, the big meat. A man of God was teaching about marriage, and he said his name is Bishop Michael Wattenwood. He was the one teaching this in my previous church, and I couldn't laugh. He calls the bum, he said the two meat. The spine line, it comes through to your back. That line, make sure that you clean it. Bums, especially the women who has big bums. There are men who also have big bums. Okay, make sure that you clean it because that place you can sweat there. Somebody says adult talk, indeed. Okay, so please wash that place because you can sweat there. Make sure that it looks nice. It looks nice. The assignment that I gave, that mirror thing, please do it. Do it. You'll be glad that you did. And then, so you've bathed all the way. You are now at your lower, around your vagina, your penis area. You're on your thighs, and then the back of your knees. Yeah, at the back of your knees, that place also can sweat. Make sure that you pay attention to it. Okay, there are some people, they've got very nice legs, but then if they wear something short right now, they can't. If you see the back of their knees, it looks black. It's not really looking nice. So pay attention to that place. And then inside your toes, your toenails and under your toes, the part where you actually walk, where you step on the ground with. I don't know how to explain it. So make sure that under your toes, you actually clean it properly. So the key thing is anywhere sweat can easily build up, or any part of the body that produces sweat, is a potential body odor maker. So make sure that you pay special attention to it, and then to the areas that hair grows. So if you do all these things that I've said, okay, if you do all of them and you do it properly, you spend enough time doing it, you should spend at least 10 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. Okay, so 10 minutes minimum, maximum will be 15 to 20 minutes. You will be done. Okay, so those of you who you just enter the bathroom and within 5 minutes you are out, what did you do? You just pour the water out. You are done. 5 minutes. It's because all these things that I've outlined, if you do it properly, it will take more than 5 minutes. It will take more than 5 minutes. So when you go to the bathroom, don't be in a hurry to come out. Whether your body is smelly, whether you have the body odor or you don't have the body odor, don't just be in a hurry to come out. Bath. Take your time and bath. Even if the bathroom is a shared bathroom, whereby, especially in Africa, sometimes things are not very easy to do when you are in Africa, because especially when I was growing up in Africa, you go and initially you have to go and fetch water. You go and fetch water, maybe you have one bucket that you have to bath with. So can you imagine if you are in your menses and then it's only one bucket of water that you have left? What would you do? You will have to manage. Yeah, it can be difficult. But when you live in a house whereby you have these poly tanks or there's free flow of water, you can get access to the water 24/7. It's easy to do these things. So if you are not disadvantaged, there shouldn't be any reason why you cannot take your time and bath. And if you don't have medical reasons, if it's not a spiritual reason, there shouldn't be any reason why you have body odor, because you can control it. You can control it. Okay, so the final thing under bathing is the soap you bath with. Because you see, it's the sponge. So you bath with soap, sponge, and water. The water really is not a big problem. Okay, but the soap and the sponge. Sometimes when you use the soap, maybe the sponge for a very long time, there are some soaps that eventually, if you use it for long, this has happened to me. Okay, it has happened to me. I've got a soap that I've used it for 10 years. The same soap, because when I started using it, I used to have very dry skin. When I started using it, I realized that my skin has really improved. And I stayed with it for 10 years. Okay, meanwhile, they have different fragrance. It could be the strawberry smell. It could be the, what are the different ones they have? I can't think of anything at the moment, but the shower gels, it could be the same brand, but they have different ones. Okay, so don't stick to just, maybe you've been using the one that is honey. They've used honey to make that. Maybe if you use that one for 10 years, meanwhile, maybe they have one that has almond in it. They have one that has milk in it, or, do you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to find the right word, but I can't really, it's not coming quickly. Okay, so don't stick to one soap for too long, because sometimes when you stick to one soap for too long, your body can take the form of the soap and you are not aware. The reason why you are not aware is because you've used it for too long. So you are used to the smell of the soap. But when you go outside, people smell you. They can smell the soap, but it's not really the exact smell of the soap, because the smell has now blended with your body flora. Okay, and sometimes, depending on the type of soap it is, it can produce a different smell. Okay, that is not too nice. So you realize that you can have a harsh smell or a hot smell. It can be from the soap. So check your soaps. Don't use it for too long. Once in a while, change it. If it's the same brand, check to see if there are different ones within that same brand that you can use. The sponge can also take the form of the soap. So if it's too long, remember the sponge, we hardly wash it. We don't wash the sponge. So you can use one sponge for 20 years and if you never washed it. But all this while, don't forget you are bathing. you are getting rid of dirt, and the dirt is being rid of through the soap and the sponge. So some of them will still will still stay on the sponge. So once in a while, change your sponge. Okay, change your sponge. If it is maybe every 6 months, or at least within the year, make sure that you change your sponge. Okay, sometimes it's very difficult to say do this because all of us are from different parts of the world. There are some parts of the world that things are very easy to get. I can just go to the shop right now and get £1 nice sponge. So I can decide that I'm changing my sponge every month, and it's easy. But if you are in a different country, or if you're in Africa, it may not be that easy for you. So you yourself, just use your discretion. It could be once a year you change your sponge or your soap. Use a different one so that your body doesn't take the form of the sponge or the soap. Because sometimes you put the sponge in the room, you enter the room, and then that smell just hits you because the soap you've used it for too long. Okay, so change it as frequently as possible. Any questions, please let me check your comments. Comments, please comment. Hi Mabel, thanks for watching. MFA, Savior, fantastic teaching, thank you. Sam, what do you want to say? PZ, Adult Talk. MFA, interesting topic, on point, you're doing well, thank you. As for now, she's just laughing. Sam, hey, then I have to paste the steps on my bathroom well. You don't have to paste it. It just try to remember them. So you see, some of these topics, yeah, it will really, really help you, because once my husband is giving me a thumbs up. Yay, thank you. Okay, so once in a while, whilst when you are bathing, you remember some of these things that I've said. Okay, so when you get your armpit, you remember that, oh, Mrs. Samuel said I have to spend enough time in my armpit. Okay, so you will get it. There was when I was in primary school, I think class 6. That was years ago. One of our teachers, it's a lady, she said to us that when you have your menses and you are cleaning yourself, because there are some people right after they leave the bathroom, you see that they are already bleeding. Okay, so she said that make sure that you put your finger inside your vagina and clean it properly. Make sure that all the blood comes out. At least whilst you're in the bathroom, make sure that there is nothing coming out, blah, 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 unless you are somebody who bleeds a lot. And she said that. So, and I was thinking, how do I put my hand there? You know, but this thing, it has never left me. Anytime I'm in my menses and I'm bathing, I remember what she says. So some of you don't have to even write anything down. You just have to, as long as you've listened to what I've said, it will click at some point. So the question, what advice would you give to ladies since we can't wash our hair on a daily basis? Okay. I think in terms of the moisturizer that you use for your hair, or the hair cream that you use, most of them have a nice smell. Okay, so it depends on how long you keep your hair. If you keep your hair for 3 months or 2 months, eventually, depending on what you put in your hair, it can smell. Okay, and there are some hairstyles you can even wash your hair. Okay, there are some of the weave-ons, whilst it's on, you can still wash it. There are shampoos that you can use to wash your hair and then blow dry it, and it will still look nice. So it depends on what kind of weave-on you are using. Even if it's plait that you have on, some of them you can wash it. You can wash it and it will still not go bad. You wash it and then you blow dry it. So as long as you can do that, your hair shouldn't smell. But the catch is, don't leave your hair for too long, because there are some of the chemicals that you use. You spray your hair, you have hairspray, hair creams. Some of them can get rid of the smell. Some of them too, the longer you leave it on, it begins to smell. So if your hair is not the kind of hair that you can wash it and still blow dry it and it still looks nice, then you have to make sure that you don't keep the hair for too long. Don't keep it for too long. Okay. I hope I answered your question. If there are no more questions, let's do the following, and then I'll be done. Please help us to subscribe on our YouTube. So we are trying to build our YouTube audience. So if you've been following us on Facebook for a long time now, we are on YouTube. Okay, maybe you are not aware that we have a YouTube channel, and we post new videos every Wednesday and Saturdays. So on Saturdays especially, we do what we call the impact. Those are testimonies that our singles have had since they started following us. They've done videos with it, so you can always find the videos on there on Saturdays to watch. It will encourage you. Their testimonies are a teaching itself, because they tell you what they've learned, and you can pick on those things as well and practice them. Please like the Facebook page that we are on now, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then after June, that's from July, I will be doing one broadcast on this channel. So it will be every third Sunday of the month. The reason is because I have to do another broadcast on the MWAL Facebook page, the Married with a Life Facebook page. And I want to make sure that I still have enough time to prepare. Okay, somebody is asking a question. My last question: how can you also advise a friend who has body odor? Okay, so in terms of advising somebody who has body odor, it's very sensitive, as I said initially, and it depends on how you will say it. Some people may find it offensive, especially if they don't think they have body odor. So I'm going to give you an example of what somebody did with me, because at the point when I started living alone, I noticed that personally, I knew that sometimes I feel that I'm smelling, but I didn't know whether it is real, okay, because I bath twice a day and I was using my deodorant. So I didn't know what is causing this smell. I wasn't sure. So I thought maybe it is in my head. Yeah. So what I did was, at work, anytime I'm at work and I feel like I'm smelling, I'll go to my colleagues and I'll say, I actually feel like I'm smelling. Can you people smell it? Can you smell me? And they also, no, you are fine. No, you are fine. Not knowing they are lying. Okay, they didn't tell me. So later on in my church, a lady, she called me to her house. She called me. She just told me she wanted to discuss something with me, so I should come home. So I went home. I went to her house, and she asked me, what deodorant do I use? Okay, so I use. And she said to me, it seems like it's not really working properly, because sometimes I can smell you. I can smell that it looks like you are sweating. She didn't tell me that you are smelling, okay? She just said, sometimes I feel like maybe you are sweating and I can smell a bit of, and she said it's not every time. That's the nice way she said it, okay? So she was saying to me that, can you please pay attention to maybe your clothing, make sure you're always washing I will come to all of that later on, because sometimes it's just your clothing, okay? Pay attention to your clothing, pay attention to shave frequently. And then she bought me a deodorant. Okay, so she came with a deodorant herself, and she said, this is the deodorant I use. Do you want to try it? Okay, and then she gave it to me. And I thanked her and left. So I was very upset with the people that I spoke to at work, and they told me there's nothing wrong with me. So I said to them, but I personally came to you. It's not like you smell something and you came and told me. I came to you that is what I'm feeling. Why didn't you tell me the truth? But you see, many people are not bold enough to do these things because they are afraid of your reaction. Okay, so you go there, call the person nicely. Don't do it in public. Don't do it in public. Call them nicely. Just say, oh, I've just noticed that I don't know whether you sweat. Maybe you are sweating a lot. And sometimes just say, I don't smell this every time. It's just once in a while I feel like there is sweat. Maybe you sweat and it's smelling a bit. Be honest, but don't be too boom. Yeah. So find a way to say it nicely, and then suggest things to them. Give them suggestions. Say to them that this is what you do. You pay attention to your clothing. You make sure that you wash your clothing anytime you wear it. You wash it before the next time before you wear it again, because sometimes sweat can build in the armpit of the clothing, and you've not washed it. The next day you've gone, you picked it again, and then you sweat again into it. so it becomes times 2. Yeah, so just tell them this is what you do. You've got this deodorant that you use and it's really helped you. She can try it. Buy one for her. Buy it for her so that she can try it. And then if you've got perfumes, because sometimes you just have to put some perfumes on your body, you can get her perfume as well. So deodorant, perfume, and then you give her some of the tips that I've given about bathing. Do it nicely. Let her feel that you care. Not that you are calling her to rebuke her, you are calling her to make her feel that you are better than her, but make her feel like you really want to help her. You've noticed it for a while now, and you are not sure whether sometimes maybe she just finished, she just sweated, or maybe she's done a heavy work, because sometimes some people, they could lift, especially those who do this lifting stuff, heavy work, they will have to carry stuff. By the time they come back, they sweat. Okay, so you can just say, maybe I don't know whether it's because you just come out of the sun, or because you've been running, or you've been walking so quickly, so you sweat. And I feel maybe that's the best way you can handle it. Get this deodorant, or go to, if you've never used a deodorant, some people, they don't even know that there's a deodorant that they need to use. So you can find out whether they are using, what deodorant are they using. Maybe they can alternate it and see if it will work. Yeah, it's a dicey thing. Okay, it's not easy to do, but I believe God will give you wisdom. Once the person is your friend, you'll be able to find a nice way to say it that they will not feel offended. Okay, I'm not sure if I've been able to answer your questions properly. The next thing I want us to talk about actually will be your clothing. So if you guys can stay tuned, if you've got any more questions, feel free to send the questions through, and then I will look at them before I come on board. If you want to join Swell, because I know many of you are following us, I see almost the same faces all the time, but you're not on our WhatsApp group. Okay, so join us on WhatsApp. You actually get more when you join us on WhatsApp. You go on the website www.singlewithalive.org, and then you can check the WhatsApp link. There's a WhatsApp link there. If you click on that, it would give you, so it says WhatsApp group. Yeah, it will give you all the things that we do on the WhatsApp group. You can register. Your orientation is 8 days. The orientation is very easy. If you follow everything on that website, you will pass the orientation. Okay, because all the questions are taken from that page. We want to make sure that you understand the vision before you join us. Okay, so make sure that you read through, and then you contact us on WhatsApp. There is a link there, it says new registration. If you click on that, it will bring you to the WhatsApp registration group. Somebody will contact you privately once you join. Okay, and then we will take you through orientation. If you are in Ghana, it's 10 Ghana cedis to register for your registration for your orientation. If you're in Nigeria, it's 1,000 naira to register. Whichever country you are, let us know. We'll give you the equivalent in your country currency. Yeah, and then once you pass your orientation, you are good to go. Okay, so God bless you. I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. Please share it with somebody before you leave. Share it with somebody. Tag as many friends as possible. If you know somebody who is experiencing personal body odor issues, or you've always been wanting to talk to the person. So like Esther, you've been wanting to tell your friend about the body odor issues, but you've not had opportunity. This video will help you to be able to do that. Okay, so if you send it to her or to him, just watching this, they get all the tips. Okay, so God bless you. If there are any topics that you want me to treat, also leave them in the comment or send it to me on WhatsApp. Share with somebody, please, before you leave. Our books are still on Amazon. So this is The Impact. These are 75 members' testimonies about Swell. It's like a counseling book for singles. Okay, so if you read it, it will really help you. It's just 20 pounds on Amazon. This one is The Mandate, Single with a Life is the whole vision about SWAL. And some of the discoveries I've made in the 5 years of serving the vision. So what I've learned will really help you for a young leader. It will help you not to make some mistakes, okay? And then this is You Win. That's my husband's first book. Inspiration for each week of the year. It will really, really bless you. Really, really bless you. Maybe one of these days I'll read a portion of it to you guys. It's in Ghana. Okay, so it's 18 cities. It's in Ghana at the moment. It's on Amazon for £12.99. So if you need it, you can get it on Amazon or you can get in touch with us. This is my first book, How I Overcame. Prayers I Prayed as a Single, 40-day journey of positive declarations, prayers and encouragement for singles. We've got copies in Ghana at the moment. We want you guys to sponsor us. Okay, so the normal price is 35 Ghana cedis. This is 18. This one is finished, so we don't have copies in Ghana, but we'll be printing more copies soon. Okay, we still have this there. If you want copies, please get in touch with me. If you want to sponsor me, okay, because we're doing 2 of these for sponsorship for 100 Ghana cedis, and this one is finished, so you can still sponsor me for this. If you want to pay 100 cedis, 50 cedis, any amount which is more than the 35 Ghana cedis, get in touch with me and then we would make it available to you. But if you don't want to sponsor, we will let you know once we have the more copies for you to buy at the normal price. If you've been following for all these years, I suggest that you should sow into our vision. Yeah, help us to grow our ministry so that we can bless more people. And I can assure you, our life is a fertile ground. God will cause your seed to grow, and then you have a bountiful harvest in Jesus' name. Those of you who sponsored already, God bless you very much. We really appreciate you. God bless you. Have a nice time. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.